Hey guys, what's up? Nick here once again, and today we're looking at Wreckfest 2 that just came out in early access on Steam. I got to check this game out last night on stream for the very first time. If you want to see my first impressions and overall feelings of the game that aren't going to just be basically summed up in this video, I'll have a link to my VOD from the stream in the description below if you want to go check that out. But in this video, I'm just going to give you a brief synopsis of my overall thoughts of playing the early access version of Wreckfest 2 as we have it right now. And I do want to preference one thing right off the bat here, that it is obviously early access and it is not a finished product. A lot of people I've seen in the reviews on Steam so far have been giving it negative reviews or just saying not recommended, mainly because of the lack of content. I do find this kind of ironic because early access is not a new concept. It's been around for a very long time, and if you've been around the racing arcade genre as long as I have, you would know that Wreckfest 1, the first game from these guys, was the exact same situation where it started out in early access, and then it came out as a full product years and years later. And they took a lot of community feedback over the years, and it became a love project in a way for not only the development team, but for the players like me who was there along every step of the way. And I remember, you might remember as well if you're an OG of Wreckfest 1, that it was originally called Next Car Game. I was an early supporter back in like 2014 or 2015, paid like 25 bucks on their Patreon or wherever they had their system set up, and I got an early access code to the Next Car Game that wasn't even listed on Steam at the time. And then throughout the years, they added more stuff, and then it became Wreckfest as we know it today, and it's one of my all-time favorite racing games, easily. I love the game to death. I love the destruction physics of it. I love the feeling of the game. It's a beautiful game. It still holds up to this day, and it runs very well on most systems out there. Wreckfest 2 seems to just take everything that we loved about Wreckfest 1, but just elevate it and make it more refined. I noticed right off the rip that the control of this game is a lot better. It feels a little bit more stiff, a little bit more grippy, if you will. Some people might not like that if you're really used to Wreckfest 1's racing physics or the control of the vehicles, but I was kind of on the fence with it, honestly. It was more of just an annoyance that I got over, or I just got used to over time, and I think it just feels overall a lot better this time around, at least so far what we've seen in the early access. So that is a definite step up. They've obviously also stepped up on the graphical department. The game just looks absolutely breathtaking. I love the graphics. The lighting effects have been very much enhanced, and the sound design is just insanely good. It sounds so realistic. The engine sounds really good. The crashing sounds are very heavy, weighty. I mean, the feel of the game in general, it's impossible to describe while watching a video. You just gotta pick it up for yourself and give it a try, and I promise you, if you've played Wreckfest 1, and you go to Wreckfest 2, you will notice a massive difference. It is that great. And on top of that, of course, moving into the physics, or the crashing physics, I should say, they have outdone themselves here. I mean, it is absolutely breathtaking how much little minute details they've added into the destruction physics of these vehicles. You can pretty much turn every car in a race into a tiny little cubicle after the race is done because of so many different destructive elements. We can rip off all the tires, you can pop the tires, you can rip off the axles of the vehicles, you can completely rip off the trunk, you can rip off the front of the vehicle, and somehow they still drive. It doesn't make any sense logically, but god damn it, it is hilarious and it is fun. And I just love, again, all the little tiny details they implemented in this version. And it's really cool to see all the little effects, like the little windshield wipers dangling off your car and the glass actually shattering and breaking in different pieces, doors hanging off and falling off. And I just really am excited to see what more they add throughout the updates. I would love to see maybe more fire effects. So for instance, now you can have your entire tire rip off, dragging your rotor on the floor, creating a spark effect, which is really cool. But I would love it to be able to essentially set that on fire or create like a fuel line behind you that lights on fire from the sparks of your rotor on the ground. That would be insanely cool. You never know. That stuff could be coming, or it might just be a fantasy in my head. I don't know. But either way, I would love to see some updates on that. They also implemented some new additions to the driver himself. I always thought it was a little odd in the first game that there was even a character in the car because it just felt kind of useless. And the only time you really saw the character is if you would play Destruction Derby and you were using a vehicle like the lawnmower. and once you crash, you'd fly off of it, just like kind of the old school flat out vibes. But this time around, they actually created a real character. Now, you can't customize him, at least not yet. I do hope that becomes a thing. I would love to be able to change the outfit they're wearing, the helmet, and all that stuff. But at the moment, no customization on that front. However, they added new camera angles where you can actually see inside the vehicle and see your character. You can even emote with him, which is kind of hilarious. They only have like 3 emotes right now where he like raises his fist. He's got one where he does like the devil horns, like he's rocking out. And there's a peace sign. It's kind of funny. It's not really needed. It's really just maybe actual gimmicky, if you will, but I think it's funny, and it does add to the actual character of the game, and I want to see more stuff like that. Do I want it to turn into Fortnite and have dances and stuff? No, it doesn't need that, but again, just some actual customization of your character would be really neat. And man, I would love for them to bring back what made Flat Out as memorable as it was, is just have the characters be able to be ejected from the cars. You already did it in the first game with the lawnmowers, just add it to every vehicle. So if a car completely gets destroyed, the character flies out the car. Maybe they don't have to fly out the windshield to completely copy Flat Out, but you could have them fly out the door or something kind of funny. And I think that would just add a little bit more of a dimension to the game and make that little character guy a little bit more interesting. It's also kind of cool that they did have it where he actually reacts to what's going on with the vehicle. So a good example of this is if you crush like the roof in, let's say you flip a couple times, you land upside down, your roof of your car caves in. And you'll notice that the character will actually be hunched over now, or like he'll basically be putting his head out of harm's way so he can continue driving. It's a very cool little attention to detail, but very funny nonetheless. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what more Bugbear has to offer in terms of their effects and little minute details like that, because I've been absolutely loving what they've had so far, as little amount as we've gotten. Because right now in early access, we have access to 4 levels or 4 maps, more like 3 maps than one kind of bonus slash demo world. And it's actually just a complete remake of the original demo world that we received from Next Car Game, if you guys remember those days. And it's kind of cool going down memory lane and seeing that again. But again, just kind of a bummer. There's only 3 real maps, and then you just have the bonus demo world. But yeah, I really am just excited to see more maps be added to the game. And then right now, there's only 4 vehicles to choose from. So yeah, more cars, more maps, and obviously that will be coming with updates. Just we have to be patient, and it is what it is. Another bummer though is there's really no customization whatsoever. You can change the colors of the cars, but you can't add any wraps or vinyls or anything like that. So you can't really make it your own. However, they did add multiplayer, which I was very shocked by. Usually multiplayer with these kind of indie games, they take a long time to come out. And then the fact that it's already working on day 1 of early access was pretty astonishing. And I gotta admit, for me personally, I know some people have had issues with the servers, but for me personally, I had an absolute blast last night messing around with it for 3 or 4 hours. And I didn't really have any complaints when it came to the multiplayer. The servers even felt a little bit better, more stable than in the original Wreckfest. So good on Bugbear for actually fixing a lot of those problems we had in the first game. The only thing I will say, obviously, is it's still very bare bones. There's no matchmaking system, so you can't like queue up with friends and I couldn't figure out a way to host your own lobby. There might be a way to do it, but not from what I could see. So it's extremely bare bones, but it is what it is, and it's really fun to just jump into a lobby. A lot of amazing people in this community, a lot of great people I met last night, very fun people. And yeah, I don't really have many complaints when it comes to that, other than just, I really hope they add on to it. And I'm really excited to see what more we will get in store with the multiplayer. They did also state there will be mod support coming soon. I don't think it's in the game yet or implemented yet, but it's just cool to see a developer in 2025 actually giving props to modders in the modding community and not trying to push them away. I love that about Bugbear, and yeah, man, I just am super stoked to see what this game is going to be in the next few years. Some people have stated it's supposed to have a full release in less than a year. I don't know if I buy that. I really don't, especially from what we got right now being so limited. I would be shocked if it came out in 2026. I'm probably going to bet 2027, maybe full release 2028, but yeah, I don't know. I hope for the best, you know. So far, I think they have a very great foundation. People probably watching this video wondering, is it worth buying right now? Should I go out and spend the $30 on Steam just to get, you know, a very bare bones experience, which is, if I'm being honest, maybe an hour's worth of content at the moment? I would probably still say yes, it is worth it, mainly because, one, not only are you supporting an amazing company that has time and time again proven their love and their ambition and craft towards this game, but also just because you're also buying into the future of Wreckfest 2 at a very cheap price. So if you know that you're going to buy this game down the road anyway, you might as well just get it cheap now, and then you can just wait for the final update to come out, and then there you go. You got a $70 game for 30 bucks. That's the way I look at it. So you might as well get in and on it early if it is a game that you enjoy. Or look at it this way: if you enjoyed Wreckfest 1, you're gonna love Wreckfest 2. I don't see how this game could get worse with any updates. I really doubt that. So it's only going to go up from here. It's only going to get better from here with more content. So that's pretty much all I can say. If you like the first game, you're going to like the second game, and it's that much better. So yeah, these are just my quick little thoughts. Again, first impressions of playing Wreckfest 2 Early Access. I do wish there was a little bit more content to be had with this Early Access launch, but the fact that it works as well as it does, I guess the last thing I didn't really get into is the performance. It ran really good on my computer, but I have an overkill PC with a 4090, so I don't really want to say, like, yeah, it runs great, because I don't really know. But for me, it ran really well. I didn't have any graphic stutters or anything like that. It did crash a couple times, and I've heard some people having crashing issues, but that's bound to happen, and it'll probably get ironed out pretty quickly, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. But yeah, all around, feels very optimized. It runs great, and I had a really good time with it. So just super excited to see what happens. Thank you so much for watching my video, my first impressions of Wreckfest 2. If you guys have any questions or anything that I didn't answer in this video, let me know in the comment section below. I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. And obviously, I will make updated videos on this channel when new stuff comes out with Wreckfest. I also stream both on Twitch and YouTube on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. So if you want to check out more stuff like this or see me live, make sure to follow me there. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Later.